This could quite possibly be my briefest recounting of a film because there's not much I can say without giving away too much because this film has so many unexpected twists and turns. But whatever. Let's take a look at David Fincher's 1999 cult classic Fight Club. The film stars Edward Norton as a man who's never given a name. And he is an insomniac who's trying to find a way to get over his difficulties. Well, he initially finds that in going to Cancer's Awareness Associations, where he learns how to feel sympathy for those who might not survive the disease. But that gets interrupted when he encounters a woman named Marla, played by Helena Bonham Carter, and the troubles all come back to him. In short, he's weary of his rather boring pedestrian life, but then he comes across a mysterious man played by Brad Pitt, who goes by the name of Tyler Durden. And Tyler Durden encourages him to join, or rather form and join, a group known as the Fight Club. And basically all it is just gathering a bunch of men together in an area to fight, just because. Naturally, however, things start getting out of hand in that regard, but there might be more to it than this man Norton plays might have initially expected. And I really can't say much more than that because this film has lots of surprising twists, and it's part of what makes this a very fascinating film. Though one interesting aspect of the film is how it does kind of feel like a combination of the styles of Quentin Tarantino and Stanley Kubrick in its way of establishing character and telling story. In Kubrick's fashion, it's very much about the worst of humanity and what the possibilities can be. In this case, it's basically delving into what would happen to humanity if humanity just went to its most basic instinctual form, and how far can it go. And the Tarantino aspect is the fact that every single character is completely off color. Norton especially, oddly enough, though at first glance it would seem to be the Brad Pitt character, but considering how things turn out, it does ultimately end up being Norton in the end, though. Helena Bonham Carter is quite the nutcase herself in many respects, though also an intriguing character. And surprisingly, so is Meatloaf, as a testicular cancer victim who ended up getting woman-sized breasts as a result. It's kind of weird, but he certainly does a good job with that character. It's actually kind of surprising how Meatloaf can actually act in many films, and it's one of those many things that makes this a rather surprising feature. Also the fact that in many ways this can't instantly be geared towards a certain genre. Is it a crime movie? Is it a drama? Is it a thriller? It's not really made clear exactly, which I personally find one of the most interesting aspects of this movie. Also the narrative moves rather briskly, but simultaneously lots of scenes really take their time, which is a very, very strange combination indeed. Certainly, it's safe to say I admire David Fincher's style. It's very disturbing, but very effective, and something that shows that I clearly am going to really enjoy what else that I see from him, because Fight Club's the second film from David Fincher I've seen. I already had seen The Social Network by this point. And it's definitely safe to say that this film does a really good job of what it does. Helena Bonham Carter's great, Brad Pitt's great, Edward Norton's great, Meatloaf surprisingly is also great. Also, it's got great suspense, some intense moments of action in terms of the actual fight scenes at times, and the overall execution is, well, kind of interestingly off-putting. I will say this though, the climax is a little bit of a cop-out and almost entirely implausible, but whatever, I can give it a pass. It's still a pretty good movie, but not the most watchable thing in the world. It must be seen with caution. On the worth meter, I will give this a worth owning. Definitely give it a try, just don't expect it to make you be feeling that great by the time things are done. And out of 5, this gets a 4 out of 5. Not exactly a favorite, not exactly the most brilliant thing I've ever seen, but certainly an interesting film, and definitely worth checking out if you would like to see films like this. Thank you for your time.